Alright, so we're going to continue what we were doing last time. So let's take a look at our inventory. We're good for the most part right now. So we're going to do... Let's see, so we are going to go to... Ozamar first. So if we're going to Ozamar first, we should get... We'll go get Shale first. And we're gonna... just max out this romance real quick with Morrigan. So that way we can get her buffs. And we'll max out Alistair's as well.
If there's anything I can do for you, please tell me.
Alright, let's see what you got, bud.
I'm sure you'll be pleased with the goods my boy and I have collected, and with your discount.
Alright, so let's come over here. We can get rid of those two things and that. Alright, now let's go all the way down. We're gonna grab... the Alistair doll. Canary. Aired flask. Grey Warden hand puppet. And then thoughtful gifts. Grab 25 of them. Alright, so how we do gifts in this is we go to this section here, and you go to the companion. If you have the festive gifts pack, these free gifts that we picked up can be given to him. Now, as you can see, these ones are grayed out because they're not for this character. They will only be available for the character you can give them to. Be careful, there are prank gifts that you can give. And it does lower their affinity with you. So down in the middle underneath the character, you can see a bar above where it says swap weapon sets. That is the affinity bar for each character. So when we give him the Grey Warden puppet...
Is that for me?
It goes up.
Really? Wow. Wow.
So, we're going to get him maxed out.
For me? Really? Wow.
Alright.
Wow.
Go here and give her the Alistair doll.
You have my thanks. A
Tribal
gift.
necklace.
You have my thanks.
Silver bracelet.
Interesting.
That. And we'll get rid of these.
Interesting.
Dog meat. Or your dog, regardless of what you name it, will always be maxed out no matter what. Give her the Andraste thing. Her, we have to be careful if we're going to do her quest.
Unexpected.
Give him the Quinari.
You have my thanks. You have my thanks.
There we go.
You have my thanks.
So you see, we're going to get all the buffs right now. So, Alistair now has major constitution, which is important for his tank. Massive constitution. And then Morgan's getting her magic raised up. We gave Liliana cunning a little bit, but again, you don't want to max Liliana out because it locks you out of her quest. She's the only one that works that way. Alright. So we are going to talk to Sten
You are
real
not
quick,
quite as callow as I thought. That is unexpected.
because he will actually give us a quest.
You're welcome.
Why did you come to Ferelden?
I was
We have
sent
to go
the
through his
eyes of
story
the
here.
Antam. The Arishok asked what is the Blight. By his curiosity, I am now here.
What's an air shock? So, for those who don't know, in the second game, we will actually be meeting and dealing with an air shock. The Quinari, most of the time that they give you their name, like for example, Sten, it's a title. Airshok, same thing. It is a title. They identify themselves based on their position within society, and that is their name. They do actually have proper names, they just don't use them. Because under the Q, nobody has names, essentially. You are your job. And how the names come about is they give it to each other as nicknames. But again, it's never spoken in formal settings or with outsiders present. It's a very private thing for them.
The one who commands the Antam, the body of the Kunari.
So he's your king?
Kunari have no kings.
What do you have then?
Little patience for endless questions.
You can get into little loops with Sten quite frequently. It's entertaining. Alright, don't you have to report back?
Yes,
So what are you still doing?
I cannot go home.
Why not?
It doesn't matter now. Can we move on? We keep the darkspawn waiting.
What were you doing in the cage?
Does it matter? Very well. I caged myself. A weak mind is a deadly foe, as you are no doubt aware.
Exactly what happened.
I came to your lands with 7 of the Beresad, my brothers, to seek answers about the Blight. We made our way across the Ferelden countryside without incident, seeing nothing of the threat we were sent to observe. Until the night we camped by Lake Calenhad. They came from everywhere. The earth beneath our feet, the air above us. Our own shadows harbored the darkspawn. I saw the last of the creatures cut down, too late. I fell.
What happened to the other Quinari?
I am told no others survived. I don't know how long I lay on the battlefield among the dead, nor do I know how the farmers found me. I only know that when I woke I was no longer among my brothers, and my sword was gone from my hand.
You probably dropped it on the battlefield.
Perhaps. I searched for it, and when that failed I asked my rescuers what had become of it.
And then...
I killed them. With my bare hands. I did. I knew they didn't have the blade. They had no reason to lie to me. I panicked. Unthinking, I struck them down.
We're gonna go with the neutral answer because we want him to give us the quest about the sword.
I know I cannot justify what I have done. My honor is forfeit. That sword was made for my hand alone. I have carried it from the day I was set into the Beresad. I was to die wielding it for my people. Even if I could cross Ferelden and Tevinter unarmed and alone to bring my report to the Arishok, I would be slain on sight by the Antam. They would know me as soulless, a deserter. No soldier would cast aside his blade while he drew breath.
Couldn't you search for it?
If I knew where to look, it would be in my hand now.
Where did you fight the Darkspawn?
Near Lake Calenhad.
Alright. Then, don't worry, we'll find it.
Perhaps those words are empty, but thank you all the same.
So, you have to have a certain level of affinity to get that opened. And once he gives it to you, then you can go ahead and start the chain quest of searching all the places until you find his sword. But you can find his sword. Alright, so, he's the only one that we really are concerned about. Alistair's personal story quest will come up much later, naturally as part of the storyline. Morgan's is the same deal. Liliana's, you have to make certain dialogue choices, and you have to get her affinity, I think it's to 60, if I remember correctly. And from there, you can go ahead and unlock through very specific dialogue choice that if you don't pick the dialogue in the right order, you are locked out of. That's another fun fact. So you can get locked out of it two ways: having too high of an affinity, or choosing the wrong dialogue options in the wrong order. But if you manage to do it all, there's a side quest where she just basically goes and gets revenge on her old mentor that betrayed her, and that's it. It really doesn't. She complains enough about her naturally that you don't need her storyline to know what happened. And then the game developers went ahead and took it a step further and made a full-on DLC of you playing the mission as Liliana, where Liliana gets betrayed, which for some reason they picked a different character model and voice actress for. I don't know why, but they did. Alright, so
Yes.
we want Alistair for the comic relief, we want Morrigan for the magic support, and the dog doesn't actually talk for a lot of this, or interact. Well, the dog has dialogue things where he does suggestive whines and barks and things of that nature, and then the characters will comment on it. But right after the very first place in Lothering, they're not all that interesting anymore, so we're gonna bring Sten for now until we can replace Sten. Alright. So, this is a common bug right here. We went to the world map, it had us select our party, right? And we hit accept, and then it keeps us in the camp. Super, super, super common bug. Okay? This is how you fix this bug. So you open up your map, right? And it shows the camp map. And what you're going to do is down in the bottom right corner, it says you can push Y for Ferelden. So you push Y for Ferelden, and then it gives you this map. Now, on here, you actually have to select where you want to go. So, currently, we're camped literally just outside Lothering. The icons don't move. Your party camp will always be right here, no matter what. So, currently, we're here. What we're going to do is we are going to go down to this place here, because we're going to get a very specific item. Okay, so here's the order we're going to do this in. We're going to go this, we're going to get the control rod, which allows us to go and get another DLC companion named Shale. She's a golem, who was once a dwarf. So we're going to go grab Shale, and then from there, we're going to go and deal with the Frostback Mountains, which is Ozamar and the dwarf storyline. We're going to complete that one entirely out. Then we're going to wrap around and come to the Circle Tower. And we're going to get Wynn. And just wrap this storyline up. And once we have Wynn, we're going to take Wynn. And we're going to take Alistair. And I think we're going to take Ogren. Or Shale. One of those two. And then from there we will go and deal with... Oh, come on, work with me. Van Loren's lands, which will open up the return to Ostagar. Now, the reason we're doing it in that order is because there's a specific quest here in the Frostback Mountain, two specific quests in the Frostback Mountains that bring us to the Circle of Magi, and one of them you can only do if you haven't completed the tower. So, we're going to do both of those. And then we need Wynn, because Wynn was at the Battle of Ostagar, so it's only right that we bring Wynn back to it when we return. Alright. Maybe we'll take Morrigan instead of Ogren, because Morrigan is at least aware of what happened. Alright, so let's go get Shale. So to get the golem, you come to this place, and there's this guy. Talk to Felix.
You'll have to forgive me if I seem a bit nervous. Not many people travelling in this part of Ferelden. Of course, that's part of my problem, isn't it? Mule got spooked by a wisp and ran off into the woods. Now what do I do?
part of your problem?
Well, yes. Oh, it's been quite the month. Allow me to introduce myself. Felix de Grosbois, merchant and entrepreneur at your service.
Fun fact for those who don't know, Orlais is the... So, Ferelden is very... like, British, German-esque. It's more British than anything. And Orlais is France, essentially. It's heavily modeled off the French with the accents, the names, the culture, the style, the aesthetics, the colors, everything. The political intrigue, it's all French in Orlais. So the Orlesians is what the people who live in Orlais are called, have the French names and the French accent. So I'm curious as to why Felix here has a French name, but he sounds like he's Ferelden. Like, little continuity would be nice. Consistency with that, you know? Alright, so we're gonna say we're fear.
I don't normally take this route, but with the war, I was hoping for a bit of luck and good weather in the mountains. Sadly, I've had neither. Ugh, this trip has been one miserable disaster after another. I don't suppose you'd consider helping a fellow out?
Let's see, what does he need?
Of all the other things that went wrong, the worst is this artifact I brought in Jada. It's a control rod, I'm told, for a golem. No point in me keeping it, however, as I'll never get to use it. But, maybe you could?
Alright, how much do you want?
Nothing. I just don't want to have to lug around something that might be taken for a gemstone by some bandit. To be honest, I don't even know if it'll be useful to you. I paid too much to simply throw it away.
Alright, we're gonna say yes, because the control rod will give us the next location and allow us to actually recruit Shale.
You'll find the golem in a village named Honleith, in the hinterlands. Here, I'll mark it on your map. I've heard it might be dangerous there with all the darkspawn about, but I'll wager that's not an issue for someone like you. Just hold up the rod and say Dulaf Gar. That will wake the golem up, so I'm told. I hope it works.
A personal golem, sounds good.
Best of luck to you then. Now, I guess it's up to me to find that mule myself.
And that's legitimately the only things he can do. He can't, even though he claims to be a merchant, he doesn't have an inventory to buy from. He's gonna give you the rod by default, just simply because that's part of the DLC. That's the starting point for the DLC. So we're gonna go down here to this new icon that has appeared.
You could smell his breath from here.
Alright, so we need to tell everyone to hold their positions. The reason why we need everyone to hold their positions is because there's all these traps all over the place, and it's not letting me disarm anything. Interesting. Well, that's super disappointing. Alright. Well. Can't disarm them. We can't get the XP for them, so it doesn't matter if they get stuck in them. Warning, wolves frequent. Traps laid for wolves. Alright. I can't remember if it's cunning, dexterity, or if it's Well,
Delighted.
let's find out real quick so I know. And damage, physical resistances. No, okay. Interesting. So is it... For disarming traps. Okay, so it is this one. Okay, so we do need to get our cunning up. And our cunning is currently what? 16? And we need to get to 18? Okay. So the next level up, we'll be able to disarm those traps. So technically it is two things. It's cunning and then you gotta have the disarm, the lockpicking skill up high enough. I really hate that it
And so I shall. Delighted. All right.
de-summons my animal.
And so I shall. As you desire. Delighted. All right. And so I shall. Of course. As you desire. And so I shall. Of course. All right. And so I shall. Of course. Delighted. As you desire.
Ah, Morgan leveled up. Nice.
As you desire. All right. And so I shall. Of course. Delighted. And so I shall. All right.
Alright, Morgan. Let's do your level up. You, if I remember correctly, I need you to have more... magic? I really need to redo your skills. I gotta remember how to redo their skills. I don't really care for you to be a shapeshifter. The arcane bolt is super useful. Yes, there is. There is. If I remember correctly, I think it's a potion or a book. I think Bodark sells them. I'll have to double check. I know for sure there's one in the post-game DLC, and all the other subsequent ones have ways to reset it. I don't remember if this base game one does.
It appears we will need to fight the Blight one at a time. As
Hey, you guys.
All right. So I shall. Delighted. And so I shall.
Blocked. Alright, move, move, move. Higher ground. Blocked. There we go. Yeah, you gotta pay attention to those words that pop up above your head whenever you're fighting, because if it's saying blocked, your shots are being blocked, your hits are being blocked. So sometimes, especially if you're a ranged character, you just need to move to get like higher elevation or a different angle. Alright, let's come over here, read the note. Shale's a fun little character. Shale is only in the base game stuff. She can't go over to the
All over.
post-game DLC. So we are going to take advantage of having her run with us just because she is so... She's got some pretty interesting lines. We'll put it that way. Alright, so now that we got that bloodied key, we can come all the way back here and open up this chest.
I have done it.
Now, important information everybody needs to know. If you have the DLCs and you plan on playing in the post-game DLC, there are certain items, like these two things here, they have these red backgrounds. If they have these red backgrounds, they do not carry over to the post-game DLC. So make sure that you're not bringing any DLC, like you're counting on DLC items to have access to in the very beginning of the Awakening DLC. You want to make sure that you have like a backup set, essentially. Because when you start the game, if you import your character, you're starting with your inventory. And minus the DLC items. So make sure you have a decent set of base game items in your inventory, so that way you don't start the game just having to punch your way through the first fight.
What we are looking at is a golem. It would appear it is defunct, though there may be a way to revive it yet.
Alright, let's try the little saying the dude gave us. And nothing happens. So now... Oh yeah. So this basket is like a bunch of birdseed around this golem. It's a little commentary bit that we'll get to hear more about once Shale wakes up. Alright, so now we need to go in here. Make sure you grab all these strange crystal clusters, because Shale, being a golem, she does not use standard equipment. She uses crystals, and each color crystal does a different thing. So you want to make sure that you are picking all those up for her. And then the other thing is you want to keep... She needs to have multiple kinds of crystals, because of the fact that certain enemies, like a rage demon, right, that's made of molten lava, if you have her set up for fire, he's going to be immune to all of her damage, because it converts all of her damage into whatever element her crystals are. So you want to make sure that you're using the proper elements for the proper enemies. So she's the only companion that you really want to keep multiple things on hand for if you run with her. This cooldown, it'll be fine.
Slay them all!
Make sure you loot everything.
I have finished.
Did we get better equipment for Alistair? Is that what I saw? Same equipment. Okay. And who else do we have? We have Sten. Okay, so this is better for Sten. There we go. Alright, let's do this. Is my wolf ready? My wolf's ready. There we go. So, all alcohol except for wine are actually gifts for a dwarven companion called Ogren. The wine gifts are for Wynn. She's the elder female mage that was really nice to us in the beginning at the camp for the Battle of Ostagar. My brain is having a hard time not saying Sven. Well, that's fair. They're very, they're almost German-esque in their military prominence and their humors and their structure. They're like very German-esque in that regard, but they're also fanatically, like, their religion is their everything, right? Like, if you believe in the religion, you are Quinari, and if you don't believe in the religion, even though you may be the Quinari race, you're considered Tal Vashoth, which is like a criminal, an outlaw, right? So, and Germans aren't fanatically religious like that, unless you want to count it as the Holy Roman Empire, but even then, that really wasn't. But other than that, like, that would be the closest culture that I can think of that you could draw a comparison to who they might represent.
Some blood. What to do?
Yeah, the resisted that came up is because I tried to do the crippling shot, which would have left a debuff on the emissary. However, he resisted it, so that's where the resisted was for. It was because they resisted the effect I was trying to put on them. So loot first before you interact. Save the game. Now here, we're going to have a couple dialogue choices. There's a quick way to do this, which has consequences for you immediately, but does not affect story. So we can open this up, and there's a demon inside. We have the choice of giving the demon the body it possesses, betraying the demon, or killing the demon in the body it possesses. If we betray the demon, which is far more complicated, then what ends up happening is we have to do a little puzzle. So we're going to do that one.
By the Maker, we're saved!
You weren't sent by the ban, were you? To save us?
Okay. Sorry. Got distracted by something there. Anyone thought you were still alive? We'll say no, I'm a Grey Warden.
A Grey Warden? Here! Thank the Maker for our luck! But if you weren't sent by someone, why are you here? If you don't mind me asking.
I'm looking for whoever owned the statue outside.
The statue outside? Why would... Oh, I think I see. You bought the control rod, didn't you? You came here looking for Shale.
You're a mage, bud. And you're living outside of the tower. That makes you an apostate.
That damnable golem brought us nothing but trouble. My mother sold the rod years ago after it killed my father, and good riddance.
Is it dead? It's just standing out there?
It's deactivated, I think. I don't really know. It's been like that ever since the day my father died. My father's name was Wilhelm. Mage to the Isles of Redcliffe and a hero in the war against Orlais. And what did he get? One day, my mother found him outside the tower, with so many broken bones she could barely recognize him, and Shale standing over him just like it is now. My father deserved better than that. But if you really want to wake Shale up, well, it's yours now.
Yeah, we're gonna go with this first one, except the rod doesn't work, nothing happens.
My mother might have passed along the wrong command phrase when she sold the rod. She said she never wanted to see Shale active again. Look, I'll tell you the command phrase, but I'll need your help first. I know you already saved my life, and I'm grateful, but my daughter is inside the laboratory. She was afraid and ran too far in before I could stop her. I don't know how she made it past my father's defenses. One of the men tried to go after her. He was killed, but you could find her, couldn't you?
We'll see if we can find her, because there's actually some decent loot in here. And again, we're still going to use the DLC items for the base game because they are better. The only thing is we are going to keep backups for everything.
You will? Thank the Maker! My father's laboratory is just past the next area, I think. She has to be there.
Alright, let's do it. Now, the reason we're doing this way is because Shale has unique dialogue stuff that happens if you take her with you when you do the Ozamara questline.
It is enough. Another vanquished.
All done.
See, like that Harvest Festival ring we just picked up? It's actually a really good ring. See, 2 strength, 2 dexterity, 2 and 4 to attack. So that's good for any warrior or rogue. So we'll put that one on. And we're getting some good stuff for Shale. Again, make sure you're keeping an eye out for these strange crystal clusters. Always loot them whenever you can. Alright, so here is the puzzle. Here is the part you have to decide what you're going to do. My recommendation, again, do the extra work of doing the puzzle because you get the experience points.
Like the bean trees? Oh look, someone's come to play. You have come to play, haven't you? We're playing a guessing game. It's better with more people.
Alright. I'm not here to play games.
Oh well. I suppose Kitty and I will just have fun on our own till someone more interesting comes along. Anyway, you should go if you're not going to play. Kitty finds you distracting.
We have to go. Yeah, we have to go, Amelia. Mathis is waiting.
I can't go. Kitty says she can't come, and I'm not leaving her. She'd be lonely.
You are so kind, Amalia. I would miss you dearly if you left.
Step away from that creature, Amelia. Hurry.
No, leave me alone. Kitty!
Nothing you say will convince Amalia to go with you. She loves only me now. I am her friend, while you are just a stranger.
I'm not leaving without the girl.
It seems we are at an impasse, so let me propose a compromise of sorts. Release me, mortal, and let me have the girl. Let us return to her father and leave this place forever.
You mean possess her?
That's such a crude way of putting it. I do not wish to harm Amalia. I merely want to see your world through her eyes. Is that so wrong?
So we're gonna tell her this top one right here, which is that I'll let you go, but you need to leave the girl.
But I do like this one.
I like you too, Kitty.
But if it means escaping this prison, I am willing to leave on my own. I agree to your terms. The mage's wards hold me within this chamber, and only a mortal may approach them. There is a trick to disarming the wards, but I do not know it. Perhaps you will succeed where the girl failed.
Oh, this is so exciting. Kitty is going to be free. I've always
All right,
wanted a
so
cat, and Kitty is so perfect and pretty.
the objective here is the direction that the arrows point on these tiles is the direction it will send the fire. And you have to get it from this corner all the way to this corner, and you can only move one tile at a time. So,
I like it when Kitty sings to me. Father doesn't like cats, but he never met Kitty.
no, put that one back. Get this one, get this one, put that back. Nope, nope, put that back. There we go. Do this one.
Kitty says Grandpa Wilhelm locked her up in this room. Isn't that awful? Kitty is my best friend. I was thinking about the sun, silly.
Ah, okay. I know how we're gonna do this now. This one here. This one here. This one here. 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 And here. And there you go. And that completes it. The fire goes out. That disappears.
Magic fading. Oh, I had forgotten how it feels not to be caged.
Kitty? What's happening?
A wonderful thing, my dear, for both of us.
And say, don't forget our deal.
I have changed my mind. I like the girl. I do not think I will find another like her.
Oh, so I get to go with you after all?
No, I won't allow it.
Ugh, I will take her anyhow. She is mine.
Kitty! You're scaring me! I won't let you inside me! I won't!
There we go. See, and this allows you to save the girl and then still kill the demon.
The unnatural are always so weird. That's a lot of blood.
And then you can still loot. And then we got this cool little helmet. 2 to all attributes and 3 to armor. So what we're going to do is we're going to go over to Alistair and give that to him. Go to Sten and check that and give that to him. And we can trash that. Has to be a mage. Okay, so we can't use that. We can give it to Win. Possibly. Alright, we're gonna keep all of those. We're good to go. Gotta fight some shades on the way out.
Of course, and so I shall. Delighted. Of course. You said, and so I shall. Right. Of course. And so I shall.
It is done.
Right.
Delighted. Of course. And so I shall.
That's crazy. Which part? The puzzle with the demon, or the shades that keep popping up everywhere?
You did it! You freed her! Thank you so much!
I'm sorry I ran away, Daddy. I was so scared.
It's all right, Butterfly. You're safe now. All the bad creatures are gone. The phrase to activate Shale is Dulan Han. If you still want that bloody thing. I wouldn't if I were you. Now we should go, and quickly. Thank you again. We owe you our lives.
Alright, let's go get Shale. Woo! Let's take this ladder out.
I knew that the day would come when someone would find the control rod. And not even a mage this time. Probably stumbled across the rod by accident, I suppose. Typical.
Hello to you too.
I stood here in this spot and watched the wretched little villagers scurry around me for, oh, I have no idea how long. Many, many years.
And the villagers had no idea they were being watched. Creepy.
Then one wonders that you wouldn't be grateful to the one who allowed you to stretch your legs, Gollum.
Another mage, I see. Charming. I was just beginning to get used to the quiet, too. Tell me, are all the villagers dead?
Not all of them, no.
Some got away, then. How unfortunate.
Alright, do you have a name?
Perhaps. I may have forgotten after all the years of being called Gollum. Gollum, fetch me that chair. Do be a good Gollum and squash that insipid bandit. And let's not forget, Gollum, pick me up. I tire of walking. It does have the control rod, doesn't it? I am awake, so it must.
Is something wrong?
I see the control rod, yet I feel... Go on, order me to do something.
Alright, walk over there.
And, nothing. I feel nothing. I feel no compulsion to carry out its command. I suppose this means the rod is... broken?
Shouldn't you be happy about that?
I suppose if I can't be commanded, this means... I have free will, yes? It is simply... what should I do? I have no memories beyond watching this village for so long. I have no purpose. I find myself at a bit of a loss. What about it? It must have awoken me for some reason, no? What did it intend to do with me?
We're gonna go with the neutral answer because, again, we want to recruit Shale because she's got a really interesting storyline when we bring her along.
I see. Wonderful. I suppose I have two options, do I not? Go with it or go elsewhere? I do not even know what lies beyond this village.
And we're gonna say you're welcome to come with me.
Are you certain you want to bring that thing with us? It could be dangerous. And large.
And then we're going to do the Persuade, because we don't want to lose the affinity with Alistair, because we want him to keep his Constitution bonuses.
Good point. Better it than me, anyhow.
I will follow it about then. For now. I am called Shale, by the way.
I am Fear, pleased to meet you.
This should be interesting.
Alright, so we're going to drop Sten for Shale.
Yes.
Alright, so now what we're going to do is we're going to come over here, level up Alistair. What did you need, bud? You needed... Strength. Let's make sure. Dexterity needs to go to 26 at some point. Okay. Let's go ahead and give him the passive for bravery. And we get to level up. Now we need 18 in cunning. So, and we need some more willpower for sure. So we're going to take the coercion. We are going to take, and we need 22 in cunning within the next 4 levels. Okay, we can do that. Alright, so now that we've got Shale, we're going to take a look. We're going to be fighting in Orzammar, so we're going to be fighting Darkspawn. Not a lot of demons, so let's go with the cold. And I think we're going to give her fire resistance to start. And we'll see how that goes. Alright. So we still lost some with Alistair, but we only lost 1 instead of a much larger number if we hadn't had the Persuade check. Alright, so now we're going to see a little cutscene. So, one of the things that is up by Shale is there's a basket, and when you first interact with it, it talks about all the bird seed that's everywhere. Shale hates birds. And I bring it up because of this scene. Alright. So now that we have Shale, we can head to the Frostback Mountains.
I'm sensing more dark smoke. See there? The light. I would watch out for that. See there? That's the light. You will be and so I shall.
Alright, there are traps everywhere. I'm gonna hold everyone's position. And go disarm them because you get XP for every trap you disarm. And again, you don't have to do the animation.
I would watch out were I you.
Alright. Walk around a little bit more just to make sure. Get the last of these loot items. Alright. Now, you want to save your game at this point right here. because depending on your difficulty levels, depending on what level you are and how your equipment's looking, this has the potential to be a tough fight right up here the very first time you come here. Let's get our wolf out before this fight starts.
All the noise is
And the real trick to this fight is you got to take that mage out first. If you don't, that mage will hurt you.
What a shame.
Alright, so let's go talk to this guy.
You have some kind of problem.
And the Blackstone Irregulars chest that we got in Lothering, this is one of those quests.
Oh? What is this about?
It doesn't matter which one you tell him, because either one, the result is the same, you still have to fight them.
I worried this might happen. I hoped it wouldn't be you who came for me. I have no choice. Forgive me, Warden, but I cannot go back with you.
Haha, they're all so eager to die. Of course.
Alright, make sure you loot him, because he's got the guild supplies on him that you'll need to turn in as well. Alright, so there's a mage collective thing that acts like the Blackstone Irregulars, where it's like a little bag you interact and you can pick up some quests. One of those is to talk to this apprentice here, which this guy right here. Hold on.
Me? I guess I did, yes. I didn't know all of them that well, however. Mostly just Duncan.
I'm unfamiliar with this name.
It's not important. You don't need to know who he was.
I cannot remember if I ever had anyone important to me. All I remember is being given orders.
I would gladly be following Duncan's orders right now, if I could.
It enjoys following others. I find that odd.
You wouldn't understand. Don't worry, I don't expect you to.
See, that was a very civil conversation. You don't get very many of those. As far as Sten goes, we'll end up coming back here as well for Sten to talk to that guy. Can't do anything with him now. He just acts as a vendor, essentially. Now, up here, you want to provoke this to the point of a fight simply because you get free XP and some loot. There's no consequences whether you do it or not, so you might as well take the free stuff.
Trust for the sovereign dwarven kings. I cannot allow entry at this time.
King Loghain demands the allegiance of the Desher, or lords, or whatever you call them in your assembly. I am his appointed messenger.
I don't care if you're the king's wiper. Orzammar will have none but its own until our throne is settled.
Alright. I have urgent need to talk to your king.
Who doesn't? If I don't get in, no one should.
Orzammar has no king. Endrin Idukan returned to the stone not 3 weeks ago, sick over the loss of his sons. The assembly has gone through a dozen votes without agreeing on a successor. If it is not settled soon, we risk a civil war.
So, you want to bring up the treaties, and you want to bring up the fact that you're a Grey Warden, because that's going to provoke the fight.
The Wardens killed King Cailan and nearly doomed Ferelden. They're sworn enemies of King Loghain.
Well, that is the royal seal. That means only the assembly is authorized to address it. Grey Warden, you may pass.
You're letting in a traitor? And a foreigner? In the name of King Loghain, I demand that you execute this stain on the honor of Ferelden.
Alright. So you want to provoke the fight. So what that means is you can't do the intimidate. So you want to go ahead and do either one of the first two.
I will at that. I'm a messenger of King Loghain.
Kill each other as you will, but take your sodding fight off my doorstep.
Oh, great. No wonder to stop for lunch.
Again, target that mage.
All right.
Alright, free loot, free XP.
You've done me a service. That fool Imrek was barking for a week. Are all humans so touched? You are free to enter Orzammar, Grey Warden. Though I don't know what help you will find.
Alright, so there's a lot of codex entries here with all these different statues, and each one's going to give you some experience points, so grab the free XP on your way in. And the other thing is these are all individual codexes on various paragons in the dwarven culture, which are a dwarf that's been basically elevated to living godhood.
Why? Is that so strange? It was my home.
But it was just you and your mother there. No one else.
Mother occasionally had company.
What? Company? Do I even want to ask?
No, you really don't.
Alright, so if you played as a dwarven noble, and there's a little interaction with a scholar and a minor noble house, if you side with the scholar, this dude right here will actually have some unique dialogue for you. If you didn't play as a dwarf noble, that he doesn't have anything unique to say to you at all. So it's one of those little, like, depending on your starting, depends on your interactions.
It is the Assembly who makes a king, and a king who nominates his successor. None of it is carried in the blood.
Or, as now, when someone tries using the Assembly to pull a coup. Who's to say what my father said in his final hours, when the usurper Harrowmont was the only one by his side?
I'll have you thrown in prison.
You've bitten off more than you can chew!
Handlers, separate these dashers in the Diamond Quarter. I will not have Balin incite a riot.
Do not speak that way about the man who should be king!
Well, alright.
I won't have fighting in the Commons, especially in front of outsiders.
Get the floor carving. And you want to grab... Actually, you want to go this way first. And you want to find this gentleman right here.
I knew I should have stuck to common nugs. I've gone and lost them too. I'll never find them the way they skitter. No way I'm going back to that supplier in Dust Town. Guess I'm shutting it down.
If I see any nugs, I'll send them your way.
Good on you, stranger. Only need one to turn this around.
Alright, so now that we have that quest, we can wander around and sometimes we can find these little pink nugs laying about.
Excuse me, do you have a moment?
The deep roads are home to the dark spots.
And there is a nug.
Oddly, they're supposed to be safer to travel during a blight.
You can take these nugs when you find them and you turn them into the nug wrangler guy. But now they will randomly spawn.
Go on,
out of the nug game. Got nothing to sell.
And you got a nug right here.
Saraka, I'm back in the game, such as it is. I don't have much besides gratitude, but find a bunch more of these and I'll toss you whatever I found.
And there we go. So now they're randomly spawned, so now you get to keep an eye out while you're exploring and doing the quest line here. So we're going to talk to Dagna. Dagna is a super, super, super important dwarf where you get to make a unique choice for her here in this storyline and this game. However, regardless of what you actually choose, Dagna will show up in the third game. So, keep that in mind.
You look like you're not from around here.
Can I help you?
I've been trying forever to find someone who really knows the surface world. I don't suppose you've heard of something called the Circle?
Why is a dwarf interested in the circle? Because this is important.
I've been trying to reach someone there for years. I've sent missives with every caravan, but I never get a reply. I want to know if they would accept me for study.
You're crazy. Dwarves can't do magic.
I don't want to do magic. No dwarf can cast spells, but I don't see why I shouldn't study it. It would be a valuable exchange. Orzammar would learn of one of the great natural forces of the surface. And the Circle gains direct access to our knowledge of lyrium smithing.
I can bring the circle your request.
That would be wonderful. My name is Dagna, daughter of Janar of the Smithcast. Tell them I've already begun reading the Tevinter Imperiums for Tikum Kadab, and it's just fascinating. Did you know the Imperial Magister Lords once had genealogies of every human family known to produce a mage child? Oh, I'll go pack my bags right now. I'll be waiting by my father's shop.
Alright, so that's one of the quests that once you complete the circle tower, you can actually request if you sided with the mages. That's the key part there. You have to side with the mages to be able to give her request. This dude is a vendor.
Welcome to Garen Garrison's luxury goods shop. Wow, there are a lot of you. And I've never seen one of those before. The things they come up with. What was I saying?
Have a look at my shop, I hope.
Right. Yeah, I have some lovely things here. Lyrium enhanced, of course.
So if you're doing a dagger build, the Rose's Thorn is actually a really, really top level weapon. So that's important to keep in mind when you're doing things with him. Alright. Let's see. The Life Giver. Alright, so that's good for your tanks. Physical Technique renders 1 point for talent. So those are, you want to make sure you're keeping an eye on where those are located, so when you can afford them, you can come back and get them. Alright. And don't sell the free things. Keep the basics. Sell that. Sell junk. Sell bolts. Sell shield. We'll hold on to it just in case when we get the character that's going to use it. Cold damage. Shattered dreams. We're holding on to both of those. Alright. And check for the backpack, and he doesn't have one, so we're good to go. Look, there's another nug. Woo! If I remember correctly, I think it's like 12 silver per nug every time. It's consistent that way. So Dagna will be there. So after you complete the tower, the circle tower, you come back and you tell her. And if you hear the little squeaking sounds, yeah, that's how you can tell if a nug is nearby. So if you hear those while you're walking around, make sure you grab them up. Grab her quest, because as soon as we do go to the deep roads, we'll run across this naturally anyways.
Do you have an offering for the ancestors? Although I can't imagine your ancestors reside in the stone.
Alright. What were you praying for?
My name is Vilda, widow of Turok of the Smith caste. I pray here every day for my son, Ruck. I only wish I knew whether I should be asking for his safe return or for the ancestors to accept his soul.
What happened to him?
It was 5 years ago. He was only a youngster. He joined a Deep Roads excursion, the only smith to go with the warriors to repair their arms. He was so proud, but he got separated somehow. When they came home, he wasn't with them.
Do you want me to look for him?
How? There is no way except to brave the Deep Roads yourself.
I'm a Grey Warden. It's kind of our thing, man.
Warden? So you could do it.
Finger guns.
Only wardens face the Deep Roads without a company backing them. Oh, thank you. The ancestors finally heed my prayers. Please, find me as soon as you return.
Again, we're gonna run across Ruck while we're going in through the Deep Roads doing the storyline anyways, so you might as well grab it, so that way you can knock it all out in one shot. Alright, this guy right here, he's another vendor.
Topsiders? Good. Get some outside gold in here. Calm people down. Make them think we should open the gates for good. The more cracks in the old way, the better. That's what Balin stands for.
Alright, let me see what you have in your store.
I'll take your gold. You're good for that.
So, nothing. So he's got a good chest piece here for a melee rogue, specifically. So if you're doing the dual daggers, this is actually a good chest piece for you. But if you're doing like an archer, it's not as useful. And then we're good. Former motor vessel. So that's another really useful book that you want to make sure at some point you come back and grab for sure. And he doesn't have a backpack, so we're good to go. Woo! Alright, so we could go in there, but we're not going in there yet. We're going to grab this quest, and then we're going to go down here into Dust Town.
Maker's blessing on you, brother.
So, this quest, you can choose to ignore it and not do it, or reject it, and it won't have any changes. Should you choose to accept this quest and you choose to complete this quest, later this building that he's standing next to will actually have a chantry inside of it where they're doing their own little like prayer services and stuff. And there's a quest we're going to pick up right now in Dust Town, where if you do this quest, pick up the quest in Dust Town after you've completed this quest, this actually gives another option for the way you can complete the next quest. Pretty cool. Alright.
I'm Brother Burkle of the Red Cliff Chantry, returned to my ancestors' land to spread the chant of light.
Even in the very bowels of the earth, we hear no end of this chant.
And that is something to rejoice in, good sister. I'm petitioning to open a chantry in Orzammar.
Whose permission do you need?
The Shaper controls changes in Orzammar's structure and society. I need the Shaper of Memory's permission to open a prayer meeting.
Alright, do you want me to talk to him?
Oh, I'd hoped you'd say that. I can see the Maker's hand on your shoulder, guiding you always. Please let me know as soon as you've heard anything.
Alright. Grab this wall carving. Grab this nug. So that makes nug number 3. So now, go on into... Ooh. How much gold do we have? So we're going to save our game in case we don't have enough gold. If we don't have enough gold, we'll go into Dust Town after.
Let me guess. This is where the poor people live.
All the noise and fuss.
We'll get plenty for their dead once we get them out of the light.
Woo!
As you desire.
Let's have at it!
'Tis your time to die.
As you desire. Delighted. And so I shall. All right.
'Tis too easy.
Alright. So let's see if we have enough gold. Save right here. So this right here, this guy, has another quest for us.
Who are you? You don't look like any guardsman I ever saw, and that's not much of a uniform.
I'm Fear, Grey Warden.
Oh, you looking for a chance to bring in some coin? Could be I have that opportunity. Especially for someone with a few connections above ground.
I'd have to hear what you're asking.
Human kings, you know, they make these ridiculous laws. Like about who gets to buy and sell lyrium, the sacred gift the stone provides us to show her love. No law should regulate that. The laws are meant to keep mages away from the stuff, so there's always buyers in the Circle Tower. I got one man named Godwin. He's expecting a delivery of a stone's weight. You want an investment opportunity? I could see fit to, say, sell you that lyrium instead, at the reasonable price of 50 sovereigns. You can keep it, or, since you can travel freely from here, sell it to Godwin, who you know is buying. And if you bring back his return order, I could pay you, say, 20 sovereigns as a finder's fee.
It must be dangerous if you're paying that much.
More so for someone like you, I guess. Most dwarves born down here have a natural immunity. Other races, there are problems if they spend too long with the ore. The real issue is that lyrium's valuable. It's only found down here, and human mages can't work without it.
So currently we don't have that type of money, so let's hope that it doesn't cancel its quest out. If it does, we're going to reload so we can keep this quest open now that we know 50 sovereigns is what we need.
Long as you keep your eyes down and your mouth shut, we've got no further business.
Yep, see. Alright, so we are going to load, because we want to actually do that one. We just need to get 50 gold first. Hey, Sarah Bear, welcome in, welcome in. How's it going? How you doing? Alright, so we'll hold off on grabbing that one. And then her.
Have you a coin to spare, my lord? It's for my son. He's sick. He hasn't any clean clothes to wear or anything to eat today. Neither have I.
Doing well. So glad to catch your stream, friend. Hope you are well. Yeah, doing pretty good. I'm actually I'm doing the streaming on YouTube and Twitch simultaneously thing now. So that's a new addition that I've started. So yeah, no, I've been staying pretty busy, keeping up with the news about the Dragon Age game, all the new stuff that they've been telling us about, like changing the name from Dragon Age Dreadwolf to Dragon Age the Veilguard. They're letting us know on the 11th that they're going to give us 15 minutes of gameplay, as well as more information. It's now available in the Xbox app, on your mobile app, to be able to download to your console. And we've been told that there's going to be 7 companions that they're claiming are like the heart and soul of the game. But for some reason, they're reducing the party size so you can only bring 2 companions with you instead of the standard 3. So there's some little changes and little bits of information now that we have. So it'll be exciting to see when the release date actually is, and what they end up choosing to go forward with as far as the story, and what returning characters, if any, show up again. So I'm super excited for it. So what we're going to do is, why doesn't your son's father help you?
question I ask every day. He was eager enough for a daughter who would bring him into the mining caste. But since the boy was born, I've not seen nose or heel of the lout. And me alone on the street, forbidden to return to my family unless I... But no, I can't bear to even think of it.
What does your family want you to do?
My son's father is casteless, as is he. I used to be a miner, but my parents stripped my caste and refused to accept me back. Unless I agree to abandon the child in the deep roads and pretend I never bore him.
Maybe I could reason with your family.
You would do that? But why?
Don't look a gift warden in the mouth.
Then I cannot offer enough gratitude. But I warn you, my father is a stiff-necked man. His name is Ordell, and he's usually at Tapster's in the evening. I do not think he will listen to you. But I will wait anxiously to see if you can do what you promise.
Alright, so now that we got all of that, we can go back. We know now we need to get 50 gold, or sovereigns as they call it, to be able to pick up that guy's quest, but we definitely want to grab that before we go to the circle tower, because you make more money off of this deal than what you spend doing it. Alright, so now that we got the quest for her, save, head on inside, and her father's in here.
Ugh, just do not buy anything.
What are you looking at, stranger?
I met your daughter.
I have no daughter. Could be you met a castless whore claiming she was once mine.
Persuade.
What? You think she'd die just to keep that thing? She knows what she has to do to come home. I never wanted her gone. Just the little cur. Can't she see she'd have a better life if she got rid of it?
He's a baby, not a cur, and she loves him.
Look, just tell her... We never meant to hurt her. It just seemed best that... Oh, just tell her to come home. Her mother and I are waiting for her.
Woo! And that completes that quest. Wall carving. Dust town. Turn this in. So, there are those that have been coming in and watching the stream that have not played the second or the third game, so I'm going to keep the lore sharing down to the level of what the player would know at this point in the game series.
You're back. I thought you weren't coming. What did he say?
Both of you come home.
I don't believe he said that. I've never heard him refer to my son as anything but trash. He calls him it. But maybe Mother convinced him. Or you did. Oh, my friend. I cannot thank you enough. If this were a story, my son would grow to manhood and pledge himself as a knight in your service. When he grows up, I will send him to you. I promise.
Alright, so at this point what the player would know about dwarves and lyrium. So lyrium is like your magic potions. It replenishes your magic bar. Mages need it to do magic. Templars need it to resist magic. So the Chantry, the human church, controls who can buy and sell and use lyrium. Dwarves are the only race that are immune to its effects that it has when someone's exposed to raw lyrium. Everyone else, it basically drives them insane and kills them. But for dwarves, they're immune to it naturally, so they're the only ones that can mine it. And what ends up happening is they have to set up official trade routes, and anyone who's buying or selling it that's not authorized by the church is considered a criminal and is usually arrested if not executed. So that's lyrium and why it's so valuable and how it's so protected and why it's such a valuable resource to the dwarves as well as the church, because it allows the church to wield its power and the mining castes of Orzammar to maintain its wealth. Alright, so we got all of these nugs. I don't see or hear anymore, so let's go turn these in.
Allow it to stay that way.
You're the best wrangler I've ever seen. But there's more. You're the best wrangler I've
And we
ever
just keep doing this until he says there's no more.
best wrangler I've ever. You're the best wrangler. I trust Vala, my nug.
There it is. So you get 12 every time. Let's go to Diamond Quarter and start moving along the story. Now, I will say the dwarves, we will learn far more about them, especially in the third game. But as of this point of the series, dwarves are basically, in theory, immune to magic because they're immune to the effects of lyrium, and they themselves are not capable of doing magic either. So that's another like hard sticking point that everyone would know at this point in the game.
Lord Balin is, unless you're actually on the surface.
Wall carving.
Legion of the Dead Warriors secretly wear Prince Balin's
Such
colors.
big houses they have.
So, also, another little bit of history here. The dwarves and the elves are considered the primal races of Theodos, which is the land that all of the games take place in. They're considered the primal races for this continent. And they've actually fought wars against each other because the elves provoked it again. The elves have gotten themselves... The elves get into a nice place where they're comfortable, everything's going smooth, everything's wonderful, and then they get these hoity-toity ideas that somebody else needs to be removed, or they're entitled to more, or somebody else is an inconvenience to them, and then they declare war on them. They get their asses handed to them, they get enslaved, and then they turn around and play victim because they're enslaved, and it's just like, but you caused this fight. And then eventually they get their freedom again, they get given lands, they build their little empire back up, and then they decide they need more, so then they attack other people, and then they get beaten and enslaved, and then, like, this is the elf cycle. That is what they have done throughout the entirety of their history as far as the Dragon Age universe is concerned. And every time they get enslaved, they lose a huge portion of their history, and that's why they continue to rinse and repeat these mistakes, is because they lose their history every single time, so they don't have it to learn from. So the dwarves, they won and just retreated underground, and they chill underground. That's their thing. But they are one of the primal races, so they're one of the originals. The elves and the dwarves were in the land before the humans ever arrived. So that's another important, like, historical lore piece here as far as, like, the interactions between the races. So we got the Shaperate. We'll head on in here, pick up some quests, get the Chantry quest approved.
Gordon, I'm outraged. A thief in the Shaperate. What have we been reduced to?
Did you get a good look at him?
I did. He was bald, with the most garish brand across his head. Almost like he took pride in being castless. Imagine. He's probably in the slums somewhere. As if he'd find a buyer for a stolen tome in Dust Town. They couldn't know the value.
Alright, so that gives us that quest. There is quite a few little codex entries in here, so you want to make sure you're looking around. Like, there's one right there. Grab this quest because you're going to naturally run across her quest anyways, so grab it while you're here.
Could really help. I don't know the libraries very well. I'm just doing some research.
What kind of
I was
research?
looking for something about the Orton Tig. He was lost during the last blight, and there aren't many records left. They were a noble house once, descended from the Paragon Orton, who composed the grand epic of the Seven Brothers and the Ortonic Symphony. My mother's family believes they were descended from Kalana Orton, who was training in Orzammar when the Tig fell. I'm even named for the house, Orta. Unfortunately, any records would be buried in the Tig's ruins, somewhere in the deep roads.
So, the mother who's looking for her son Ruck. Ruck is located in the Orton Tig ruins, and you have to cross those when you get the quest line to go down through the deep roads. So this is one of those, like, pick it up here because it's beneficial, and you're gonna end up going there anyways.
A Grey Warden? Mother always said that if anyone could find the Tig, it was the Wardens. I hear Prince Balin and Lord Harrowmont have both been sending out small teams these days. Yes, if you can find the Tig in any records, that could do it. That could prove I'm a noble. If you could. Maybe now that you're looking. It's almost too much to hope.
Alright. So we got that. Now we're gonna come over here and do the Chantry quest.
Endrin was king and Orzammar was at peace. The memories often speak of the swiftness with which change overtakes us. But it is different to see it firsthand. I apologize, Warden. I should not burden a stranger with such thoughts. I am Zebor, the Shaper of Memories.
Alright. How do you know who I am?
The Grey Warden's visit has been recorded in the memories, along with all who accompany you.
I would like permission to open a Chantry here.
That is an odd request, especially for one so new to our city.
I come on behalf of Brother Burkle, a cleric from Redcliffe.
I thought so. This is not the first time he's made this plea. My answer to Brother Burkle hasn't changed. So I ask you the same. On what basis would you have me insult the ancestors and overturn 2,000 years of tradition?
We're gonna go with Persuade.
He seems a charitable man, but that is a thin thread on which to tie Orzammar's traditions. Very well, he may hold a prayer meeting as he requested, if not build a new temple to his god. At least the words would come from one of our own. Now, is there anything more?
Nope.
I will record this conversation in the memories. I hope I do not come to regret it.
Alright, so now we just gotta go back to him and tell him that he's got his approval. And then over time, the building behind him will open up and you'll be able to explore inside, and it's a Chantry. So, let's get the rest of this, and there's some chests back here you want to make sure you grab too. Here it is. Boom. Look at that. Just from all those codex entries, we got Morrigan to level up. There. I think I want to go to 30. Alright, so you need some more tactics. I'll give you that one. Alright, so those gloves we just picked up. So we got a diamond maul. Great, we're not going to use it. Move to junk. Alright. The gloves of diligence. They're actually the Templar gloves, if I remember correctly, for the Templar armor. So they're actually decent gloves. They just require a heavy level of strength in order to wear them. I'm going to give her that one. Chipped. Alright. Woo! You want to come around, just make sure there's no nugs stashed away. So right in here, there's a couple little fun things we can do inside the royal building, which is that one right there. We're going to come in here real quick, grab this quest, and then come across. There's actually a little dragon you can summon in there. So we're not siding with Balin. We're going to side with Harrowmont.
The assembly is in session. And to acquire...
We'll side with Balin when we're doing a dwarf playthrough.
Half our houses would go broke without the surface trade.
The proposal is only effective until we have a king to ensure we are respected by the surfacers.
leaving you conveniently positioned to take over all contracts. I'll see your head on a pike first.
Deshers, lords and ladies of the Assembly, I've already doubled the guard to prevent violence. Must I summon more?
Steward Bandalore, Balin's sympathizers are tying our hands with trivialities. They may as well open us to the sky.
I suggest we put the matter to a vote.
And I suggest you have a taste of my family's mace.
Enough. The Assembly is in recess until the members can regain control of their emotions. Stone-forsaken fools and dusters. I'm sorry. This is the Assembly of the Clans. Only Deshers and occasional guests of state are allowed in.
Alright, you don't recognize a Grey Warden?
Forgive me. I am so exhausted. I completely forgot about the message from the gate guard. Welcome to Orzammar, Warden. I hope you can forgive our unrest. The loss of our king has hit us hard. Respect for your role is great, but you won't receive a proper hearing until we have a king on the throne.
Hey, Red Aggro. Welcome in, welcome in. How you doing? Let's see. Is there any way we can break the stalemate?
I must admit, Warden, I am at a loss myself. It lies with Prince Balin or Lord Harrimont, and they are slow to trust anyone in these uncertain times. Dulin Verender, Harrimont's man, can be found at the Harrimont estate. Vartag Gavorn, Prince Balin's second, is often here in the Assembly. I only wish there was more I could do for you.
Alright. So let's go fight us a dragon. Dulin. That's the guy we want.
I heard there was a Grey Warden here. I am Dulin Verender, second to Lord Harrimont, King Endrin's own choice as successor. Word is spreading that the surface may suffer a blight. It is shameful we are not in a better position to help.
I'm good. Hope it's going well, dude. Cool to see you're streaming. Yeah, I got back into it maybe a week ago. So, yeah. And we're going to be doing a lot of Dragon Age stuff because all the new news coming out about the next game. So, we're going to be doing Dragon Age playthrough of the entire series for quite some time. Alright, let's see. I would speak to Lord Harrimont.
In an ordinary time, Lord Harrimont would be honored to meet you. Unfortunately, we've already caught more than one of Balin's spies approaching Harrimont under a pretense of friendship. So I'm afraid I won't be able to take your word. If you want to speak to Harrimont, you will need to prove he can trust you.
Oh, alright. How can I prove that I am not working for Balin?
If you mean it, you might attend the proving today. The Deshers take it very seriously. And unfortunately, Balin found some way to blackmail or intimidate House Harrimont's best fighters into stepping down.
So, enter the proving in Harrimont's name.
It would certainly make your loyalties loud and clear. Balin would never work with anyone who humiliated him in that way. Harrimont would have no fear of meeting with you then.
I'll enter the proving and... Yeah, I will enter the proving.
Excellent. The arena is located off the Commons. Talk to the proving master and tell him you're entering Lord Harrimont's roster. The key fighters we lost were Guidon and Baisel. You can look for them in the fighters' preparation chambers behind the ring. And be sure it's before the fights begin. After the first bout, no one may change the roster. If you need to find me again, I will wait in the Tapster's Tavern off the Commons. There is no better place to hear gossip. Perhaps even word of your victory.
Alright. I really like the Proving Grounds. Big fan. Alright, I never knew you did. Yeah, let's see. I started... Let's see here. I think I actually have it on my Twitch. I started... Two years ago, January 27th, 2022. That's when I started streaming. So yeah, been on and off since then. Alright, let's go and do this. So we're gonna get down here. Go fight us a dragon. And I think there's a reverend we can fight too. So the trick to this dragon, the very first thing you need to make sure you can do is open this door. Alright, so next step. You're going to tell your companions to hold position, and you're going to manually select the ones. In this little square, you're going to put Morgan, or a ranged character, a squishy character here. And then you're going to take your more tanky characters. And there's these things, right? So you got to find the one that clicks. And then once you got everyone in position, so you got one character there, it still says hold on the bottom of their icons. You got both characters there. You take your character and you go and interact with the throne. Now, as soon as you do that, you need to immediately hold your left trigger and open up advanced, and then click to move freely so that everyone engages.
Of course. As you desire. As you desire. Delighted. And so I shall.
And there we go. That's one of the little hidden dragons here. So, once you have beaten the dragon, you can loot the dragon, and you get this really good double-handed sword, two-handed sword. So it's great for like Sten or Ogren. And if you look at it, it says it weakens nearby darkspawn, messy kills, +4 damage versus darkspawn, increases hostility and intimidation, and they gain stamina regeneration while in combat on top of everything else. So it's a really good sword to give to either one of those characters or yours if you're playing a two-handed character. But that's the little way you can get that one. And you can get that at any point, but it does require 34 strength to wield. So do keep that in mind. Alright, so come down through the side hallway, and we got a little room that's got a chest in it. Come across here, and in here there's another big enemy. So whenever you find these things, they're called glass phylacteries, make sure you interact with them. And when you interact with them, be prepared for a fight. So you want to take the vial, and it's going to shatter. And you hit continue, and then it summons the Reverend. And these dudes can be kind of tough, but if you can keep knocking them off balance or redirecting them with like taunts from your tanks, like the threaten aura and stuff like that, you can keep them off of you, but they do hit relatively hard when they do connect, especially in the earlier levels when you don't have the greatest gear. Alright, then you can loot them, get a scrap of paper, and that creates this whole little unmarked storyline, questline for finding all the reverends. And then there's a fight here.
So I shall. Delighted. Of course. All right. All right. So I shall. And so I shall. Of course. And so I shall. As you.
Alright. Make sure you loot everything.
Warden, you caught them in the act. I guess desperate times drive people to strange things.
Woo! Alright, loot this last dude. Grab this side room. Always explore. You never know what you find, even if it's empty. Alright. And we can't go in there yet. We have to progress the storyline to use that wing. So, now that we've gotten our dragon and our reverend, which were the main two things, we can leave and go into the proving grounds. Now, you can play Balin and Harrimont against each other up to a certain point, so you can play both quests and just keep, when they're like, well, you proved you were working with this person, you just tell them, oh, but that was to get close so I could be your inside guy. And you go that back and forth, but there is a certain point where they're going to force a decision on you. Ogren, this dwarf here, we're about to hear talk, the little redhead with the beard. I know, dwarves, red hair, beard, yeah. The one on the right, he's going to be a companion that is going to be he's going to show back up in the post-game DLC. And in my personal opinion, he's the best character ever. And I hope they bring him back in the next game.
Tomorrow. By all the holy sodding ancestors, how can you people just ignore that?
Bronca didn't go alone, Ogren. She took the whole house, everybody but you. So just get over to Tapster's and drown yourself already. You know as well as I do that's how this always ends.
You think I'm afraid of some cub warrior who's barely off the teat? Ha!
You lift a weapon or attack a single citizen in Orzammar, and you're stripped of your caste and exiled. Even you can't have forgotten that. Get out of here before I call a guardsman.
Alright. We will encounter him later. Alright, head on over to the proving. Oh, wait. We get this interaction now.
Hearing rumors that a certain wine merchant is falling behind on his payments.
I can't imagine what you mean. I pay my expenses.
What about the expenses your good friend Jarvia incurs when providing your protection? It's not easy ensuring nothing bad happens, that no one decides to just burn everything in your store.
My store! Please, I don't have much. Business isn't good. People are scared. Tell Jarvia I'll get her money.
Jarvia's not happy with your promises, old man. Now let's go inside and see what you've been holding back.
Alright, so now that conversation is taking place, we can actually follow them inside and intervene.
This is all I have right now. I could get more if I sell something.
Well, well. Looks like we have a visitor. Friend of yours?
Is there a problem here, friend? Are these men threatening you?
Please, don't get involved with this. You don't know what they're like.
Then allow me to make some introductions. These are dangerous times in Orzammar, stranger. Lucky us, the merciful Jarvia is offering protection from the chaos. You're wearing some fancy stuff there. Might make you a target. So if you want the Carta's guarantee of safety, it's yours for the reasonable price of 10 gold sovereigns. Or I can't say what might happen.
So we're going to do the intimidate option.
Whoa, whoa. All right, you win. I'm not gonna die for 10 lousy sovereigns.
Woo! And this opens him up
bless you for
to be a vendor.
poor store. I don't know how to express my gratitude.
Alright, so let's look at your store,
I'm
bud.
showing you the lowest prices I can afford. I assure you.
Now, really this dude's only benefit, other than being able to be someone that we can sell stuff to, is he's got some of these usable potions and salves and traps and things of that nature, and he's got crafting components. He does have a remarkable emerald, and a remarkable emerald is a gift for, actually, not for 4 gold, no. It's a gift for Shale. Shale takes the remarkable gems. So, that's another place you can buy a gift specifically for Shale, which, by the way, we need to... Hey, Shale, come here, listen. I got some gifts for you.
Very nice. Very nice indeed. I'm to keep this.
Woo! Alright, let's go get into the proving ground. So once you pick on one side or the other like Balin's, for example, because we're siding with Haremont, Balin's goons will start attacking you in the streets.
My body does not tire or do other flesh-related functions.
Oh yeah, almost forgot. There's one more thing we need to do before we come back in here. The Shaper dude gave us that quest about the stolen tome, and he told us the guy was in Dust Town. So we'll go grab that, and then he'll give his follow-on quest leads us into the proving ground, so we can get both of those done at one time. Alright. Do. And we gotta turn in this quest too. Almost forgot about that. Woo! There you go, bud.
Andraste teaches that patience is the child of wisdom, but I'm eager to hear if you've seen the Shaper.
He agreed to let you hold a prayer meeting. He also said you could build the temple if you wanted.
Oh, praise the Maker! You truly walk in the light, friend. I already found a convert among the merchants who offered his shop as a temporary chantry. It's just by the tapsters. Please, come to our first service.
Woo! And it's this door right here. What we'll end up doing is, later on as we come back, that place will be opened and we can actually go inside. Alright, so let's go take care of this stolen item. It's this thug right here.
What do you want, Warden? You're out of your element down here. Is that so? What makes you think anyone here would turn me, this person in? You've walked into a sodding fight, Warden, and I've already passed your stupid tome along. Too bad for you.
Is it time to switch something else?
That's all I got.
Alright, and seeing we get the proving receipt, and then we end up going to the proving grounds, and we can get it all done at once in one stop. Alright, up here, wrap around.
I would still like to know how the Swamp Witch learns its forms.
Eager, are you not? Does the golem wish to become human after all?
A human is a soft and weak form. I desire no such thing.
Then why the interest in shape-changing? Unless you secretly wish to become something other than what you are.
Is that why the Swamp Witch learned? To escape her form?
In a way. It was lonely to grow up in the wilds. To join with the forest, to become one with its denizens. There was a freedom in that.
I think it would be an excellent talent for disguises.
Or perhaps to walk through doors without hitting one's head.
Yes, exactly.
Well, 'tis not a good enough reason.
Even if it was a good enough reason, it's a golem who was once a dwarf, so therefore it can't do magic, so it's irrelevant. Just throwing that out there, like that could have just ended that whole conversation, Morgan. Alright, so we got the proving receipt. We're gonna wrap around over here.
Bloodsport entertainment for the masses at its best.
Down this way, and it's this guy right here.
All the noise is on, as you desire.
Coin to the man who takes the warden.
So I shall. Of course. All right. So I shall.
Alright. So, now if you want to do the bad guy thing, once you've looted him and you have the book, you can talk to this guy right here, and you can actually sell him the book. Or you can go and do the good guy thing and return it to the Shaper, which that's what we're going to end up doing. Now, if you're siding with Haremont, you can do a couple things, like you can go and talk to these individual warriors that are marked. There's that one, and then there's another one down this way. right there. You can talk to them and you can try to convince them to come back. However, your party that you bring with you is much stronger than what those warriors are, and it doesn't really change the outcome. So just use your team, because at least they'll get the experience in the process.
The proving will begin shortly. I'm sure you can find a place in the stands. Or were you here to take part in the fight?
Harriman's champion!
Well, that's a surprise. Never thought the Grey Wardens would take an interest in our king. Let me just put you into the schedule here. Now, is there a particular name you wish listed?
I'm fear of the Grey Wardens, which he'll just use Grey Warden, regardless of what your name is.
I'll just call you Grey Warden, since those
See?
elven names are such a mouthful. We actually have an opening
Yes,
in the first
because
round.
fear,
Ready to start?
totally a mouthful for an elven name, for sure. Ready and eager, let's do it.
That's what I like to hear. I will warn you, though. This is your last chance to make preparations or meet the competition. Once the fights begin, there are no new additions to the roster. All withdrawals are treated as losses and a sign of the ancestors' disfavor. Do you want to start, or would you like some time? The fighters' quarters are behind the ring.
The beer 30? No, it's actually a NOS. I actually haven't had... It's been a long time since I've had a beer or alcohol, for that matter. But yeah, no, it's an energy drink. I usually go through 2 to 3 a stream, depending on the intensity of whatever game I'm doing. And I go back and forth between Rockstar's the primary, but when I get NOS, I'll definitely incorporate those in the rotation. NOS is my go-to energy drink. So, my order for energy drinks starts with Rippets, and then it goes to Rockstars, and then it goes to NOS's. And there was another energy drink called Ace, but I don't think Ace exists anymore. They used to do their cans up like World War II bombers, and the nose art would tell you what the flavor was. It was a really cool energy drink, but I don't think it lasted very long. But Rippets, specifically the red power Rippets, those are my favorite. I got hooked on those in Afghanistan, and to this day they are still my favorite. I want to fight. Let's go.
Go down to the ring, then. I'll be right there. This is a glory proving.
I really like when games incorporate arena-style fighting.
To honor the memory of King Endrin. First up is Suwen of the Warrior Caste. Many of you remember when Suwen made history as a lad of 12 by defeating his own father in this very ring. Today, he fights as a champion for Prince Balin. Opposing him in Lord Harrowmont's name is a member of the famed Grey Wardens.
In the name of House Idukan and our future King Balin.
Rippets, I'll have to check that out. If I don't know about overseas, but I know in the States, the only place that I have found them, other than like mom and pop type groceries, not grocery stores, convenience stores or gas stations, is Dollar Tree usually sells them pretty consistently. But yeah, my personal flavor it's the only flavor that I will drink for the Rippets, and it's the red one, and it's called Power. There is a yellow one. Yeah, it's yellow. There's a yellow one too, but I don't remember the name of that flavor, but that's another common one. But the red ones are the only ones that I will drink. Alright, for the glory of Lord Harrowmont.
First warrior to fall is vanquished. Fight!
Delighted, of course.
Hey, bud.
As you desire. All right, of course.
What's this?
The winner is the Grey Warden.
Man, I can't wait till we get to the other games where like the player's more involved with combat.
Suwen is rarely trounced, and so thoroughly. Are you ready for your next opponent?
Yes.
Excellent. Let us go. This is a glory proving. fought under the eyes of the paragons of Orzammar to honor the memory of King Endrin. This round, Haramont's champion takes on the notorious duo, the warrior-cast twin terrors now fighting for Prince Balin, Biaja and Lukjan.
May the stone honor you.
When you fall.
For Lord Haramont.
First warrior to fall is vanquished. Fight!
Delighted. And so I shall. All right.
We do not fear you!
Woo! The Grey Warden! Well, that was an exciting bout. 2-on-1, and you took them both easily. Are you ready for your next opponent?
You know what game had a really cool arena fighting system? Was Assassin's Creed Odyssey. Assassin's Creed Odyssey had that really cool arena where you could fight the various different like mercenaries and stuff. That was really cool.
Excellent. Let us go. This is a glory proving, fought under the eyes of the paragons of Orzammar to honor the memory of King Endrin.
So, right after this fight, guys, I'm going to take my dog out and take a short break, and we'll get right back to it. It'll be very brief, I promise. And we will continue this Orzammar storyline.
Her worth to Paragon Ashtith the Grey by cutting out her own tongue. And to our Prince Balin by fighting in his name.
Alright, for the future king, Lord Haramont. Right now, do it.
Is vanquished. Fight!
Stun.
As you desire.
Pin. Woo!
The Grey Warden! Haramont will be pleased, Warden. The Silent Sister support was a great boost for Balin. Are you ready for your next opponent?
You never tried that one? Okay, so Odyssey was the ancient Greece one, and in my opinion, one of the better of the new Assassin's Creed games. And it's actually one of my favorite because they actually cared about the lore and the mythologies and everything, and they incorporated them well there, unlike Valhalla. And there's what they did was they gave you a new game plus option in it, so you could play the game, go through, get everything you needed, get max level, do a new game plus, and then continue leveling up. And when you got to a certain level, it unlocked like a bunch of passives, essentially passive buffs that you could dump points into. And there was a specific way that you could build your character, and it required one specific weapon. But if you could do the build and get that one weapon, you literally could do a build in that game where you could put it on the hardest difficulty, stand in the largest mob of enemies, or stand up next to the hardest, toughest boss in the game and just stand there and don't do anything, and you won't die, and they can just hack at you for hours. But it took you actually had to go through and do everything just right to do it. It was one of the coolest little things because it's not an obvious way to do the build, but it was. I enjoy it when the games build mechanics in there where it's like, if you want to be the overpowered godlike character and play, yes, we will have a way to do it, which is not cheating, but we're going to make you work for it. I'm good with that arrangement. And Assassin's Creed Odyssey nailed it. Alright, so we're going to take that break. I'm going to take my dog out real quick, and then we'll be right back. And we will continue with this storyline. Alright, we're back. Let's continue the proving grounds.
Excellent. Let us go. This is a glory proving, fought under the eyes of the paragons of Orzammar to honor the memory of King Endrin. This round is paired combat. Just as Kiatchet fought as King Bloodwick II, defending our empire, so have dwarves always fought alongside a second. Master of all weapons, prisoner of none, Wojciech Ivo has never won the same way twice. What will he do today, lords and ladies? And will it win the day for Prince Balin? Grey Warden, choose your second, for you face Wojciech Ivo and Valans.
So we're gonna choose Alistair.
Last one standing will be declared victor. Fight!
Because he's got the threaten that he can do. So that'll keep them focused on him. Stun.
The winner is the Grey Warden! Wojciech Ivo is one of the best this arena has seen, Warden. Haremont picked wisely. Are you ready for your next opponent? Excellent! Let us go. This is a glory proving, fought under the eyes of the paragons of Orzammar to honor the memory of King Endrin. Only 2 warriors remain. Fighting for his royal cousin Balin, Jotun Iduken has led his team to triumph over every unit so far. Challenging him on behalf of Lord Haremont, the Grey Warden has risen from nothing to stand at the competition summit. Each will lead a full unit of 4 soldiers to see once and for all whom the ancestors favor.
You fight well, but your judgment is questionable. The throne will never leave House Iduken.
We're gonna do the dedicate my triumph to Haremont's victory.
Last one standing will be declared victor. Fight!
All the noise is off.
All right. Stunned. There we go. Do, 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 do.
The winner is the Grey Warden!
Whee!
Congratulations! You defeated the man Prince Trian himself once called the Horns of my army. Do you deny this Grey Warden has earned the championship? Then it is my honor to declare this Grey Warden champion of the Proving, who has shown that the ancestors favor Lord Haremont.
Alright, may the assembly heed the ancestors and choose Haremont.
The ancestors speak through you. Congratulations, Warden.
Woo! Alright, so now that we got that section done. I believe it's this guy. This guy will actually let you do proving grounds, but they're to the death, and if you're playing a blood mage, he's actually got unique items that buff blood magic in general. So if you are playing that route, or you're building a mage companion to be that, you may want to consider talking to that dude and doing them. Other than that, it doesn't have an effect in the game. Alright. So we gotta go report to Dullen, who should be in Tapsters, and then from Tapsters... Hold on.
The Swamp Witch. How original.
The Swamp Witch has the same arrogance, the same air of cruelty. I would hate for it to have possession of my control rod. If it still worked, of course.
Let me tell you what you can do with your control rod, Gollum.
Is it telling me that if the rod did work, that it wouldn't want control over me?
I wouldn't go so far as that. I could, for instance, command you to go and jump in a lake. A very deep lake.
It fools no one. The Swamp Witch would control everything if it could. It would have us all dancing on its strings.
Oh, you know me too well, Gollum. Your revealing gaze has laid me bare.
I will be watching the Swamp Witch. It must not be trusted.
Now you're beginning to sound just like Alistair.
Woo! Alright. Go turn this in, and then we're going to go over to the Diamond Quarter and return the tome to the Shaperate. And we should get the next section, I think, brings us into the Deep Roads, hopefully.
They're everywhere!
Atrosvala, champion. I hear your performance in the Proving was nothing short of amazing. There can no longer be any doubt where your sympathies lie. If you're ready, Lord Harrowmont will see you now.
Excellent. Lead the way.
His lordship is looking forward to meeting you.
Woo! Alright, let's do our level up. We needed... I think it's 24 in Cunning? 22 in Cunning. Okay. Alright. Let's take a gander. Let's leave all that alone. Let's upgrade the bear. Alistair, level you up, bud. You're gonna need far more strength. And we're gonna need to do... Let's do that one to start. Give you your Templar powers. What is this? Not the nice choice. Gifts can be... I don't remember who we give that to. Alright, let's go. Harrowmont.
I appreciate what you have done, Warden, and I apologize for putting one of your rank through such trials. I am Lord Pyrell Harrowmont, and I thank you for your efforts to help me preserve King Endrin's throne.
Alright. Let's see here. Oh, I want to support against the Blight.
For us, the Darkspawn are a constant menace, so a Blight may not elicit the same urgency you are used to. Ultimately, the Assembly decides what troops to send. If they no longer fear civil war, they'll have no reason to hold back. If you want my support to count, I will have to be king. And right now, there is no sure way to get there. Have you heard of a woman named Jarvia? And
That's right, we gotta deal with the Carta first. I'll take them out, you take the credit. Is that the plan?
Glad you're so eager. If you help me shut her down, we can show the Assembly I am the right king to defend Orzammar. Jarvia hides her base in Dusttown, the raw edges of the city where no one lives but castless and criminals. If you would help me in this, it would show the Assembly that I, and not Balin, have the ability to defend and rule this city.
I'll deal with Jarvia. Be ready to help me against the Blight.
Do this, and I promise if I take the throne, I will not stop until the Assembly sends your troops. Look for Jarvia in Dusttown. Do whatever it takes to see that justice is served.
Okay, so they have a caste system that is very heavily ingrained in Dwarven culture. So you have the warrior caste, the smith castes, the mining castes. You've got all these various different types of castes. And they're like noble houses, essentially. And if you're not born into a noble house, you have to get a tattoo on your face that marks you as what they call casteless. And the casteless are criminals that can't hold any positions of authority or power. They don't have full citizenship rights. They can't own land. I mean, not land, houses or buildings. anything like that. And nobody of any any note or significance in Dwarven society will actually interact with them. So really the only way for them to get ahead and make a life for themselves is through criminal work or to submit themselves to the Legion of the Dead or Legion of the Damned. And basically what this is it's a legion of dwarf criminals that have been sentenced to exile or people that have voluntarily gone into it to settle debts or as part of arrangements to help out members of their family. And you lose your caste status if you have one, and if you don't have one, then what ends up happening is once you get into the Legion, then what ends up happening is you have to fight until you die. That's it. You're considered dead as soon as you join. They actually hold a funeral service for you when you join. And here's our first set of thugs. Woo! Alright, let's go get the loot. Alright. Head on over to the Shaperate to turn in the tome that we got.
You found it.
Woo! Now we can leave. And we gotta go deal with Jarvius Carta, which is in Dust Town. All this walking!
Rumors of Grey Warden mass recruitment of castless circulating the colony.
Apparently we're recruiting in mass of all of the castless down in the common areas. That's outstanding. I'm so glad that we're gonna have that many more Grey Wardens, because that's amazing. If only it were true. Alright. Up and around and into Dust Town we go. More fanatics. All right. Woo! Check our inventory. Yeah, we're good for now. Let's head on. Let's see. Did they fix the Chantry up yet? Look at that. Orzammar Chantry. There we go. Now, you got the Chantry. You talk to him.
Welcome to what will soon be Orzammar's first Chantry. The chant of light will reach all corners of the world. We will never forget who made this possible.
I expect a plaque on the door, dude.
I will, see what I can do.
That's right. When I come back, it better be hanging up. I can't remember if they actually do a plaque or not. But yeah, so by doing his quest line, it does open that door up, and you have a little chant of light stuff going on now. Woo! Alright, so we're going to go down here into Dust Town. Again, I think we're still ignoring this. Let's see. Yeah, we're at 17 gold, so we're still going to ignore this guy. So we need 50. There is a store right here. For anyone interested.
What are you looking for? We got nothing to buy for the likes of you. Or maybe you wanted to sell.
Let me see your wares.
Of course.
So we got some upgrade. So chip goes into flawed. Let's see. Let's sell some stuff. Rid of that. That. These boots right here, they're heavy armor boots, and they actually go to the... What are they called? There's a... It's a whole heavy armor set that it looks like kind of what the king was wearing, but with a winged helmet. And basically it provides healing buffs. When you get the whole thing together, they all start adding healing buffs. So it's a tank that's designed to not be able to do anything other than self-heal and just absorb damage, essentially. So they're decent for that. It's not the best, but it is decent in the mid-game area. Late game, it gets quickly outclassed. So don't buy it unless you're role-playing and you want full outfits. Alright, so anything else? Rid of the lyrium. Valves. Don't need those. Or that. There's another remarkable. Get rid of those. I think I only need one of them, but we're going to keep 5 just to be safe. We'll hold on to the cheese knife just in case by the time we get our rogue friend, in case we can use it then. Alright, so we're good here. Let's go. Wrap around, come down here. Talk to this one right here, this dwarf.
Well, look at that. It's not often old Nadezhda sees a fine-dressed stranger here in Dust Town. Help a poor cripple.
I might have money if you have information.
What are you looking for?
Do you know a woman named Jarvia?
Know her. I used to run with her. Jarvia took over the Carta not more than a year ago, and already she's got every duster with both legs bearing swords for her.
Where can I find her?
Won't be easy. She's gotten real careful since Barat died. Real paranoid. She's got Carta members all carrying these fingerbone tokens. She scratches some mark into them so she'll know they came from her. There's doors to her base all over the city, but only one is ever open at a time. And if you show up without a token, you'd never know it was there.
Alright, where do I find one?
Can't help you there, Salrocca. The Carta members keep them real tight. Now, how about that coin you promised?
Alright. 10 silver.
I'll think of you when I go to bed with a full stomach.
Doesn't matter how much you give her. Alright, so now that that's been triggered, we can go down here.
Hey there, stranger. 6 bits for a tumble. 2 silvers
Oh, I didn't...
if you all want to go out. Sorry.
I didn't want to talk to you. I was trying to get to this house. Here we go.
We have here. Jarvia said you were looking for trouble. Congratulations. You found it.
So you do have to talk to that dwarf first in order to be able to trigger these thugs being in here so you can fight them.
Don't kill me! Sorry ancestors! What do they teach you on the surface? You fight like a bleeding archdemon. Sweet bloody stone, look at them all.
Alright. Intimidate.
The base is below the city. You can get to it through the wall of the 3rd house on this row. Put this token through the slot, and it'll open. Well, will you let me go now?
No, dude. You're a criminal who is trying to just murder me for asking some questions. Why would I let you go? You're gonna go do that to somebody else. The only reason you're asking me to spare you is because you lost. If anybody else asked that you to spare them, you wouldn't be sparing them, so no. Turnabout's fair play, man.
And so I shall. All right. As you desire. And so I shall. Delighted. Of course.
Alright. Let's loot everybody. Ooh, Shale leveled up. Nice. Alright, Shale. Give you some more strength. give you bravery. Open the door, take the chest.
Complete.
Alright, good to go. And then it's this door. Continue. Put the fingerbone token in the slot. Continue. Open the door. And I have never been able to find anywhere where there's an actual password that will let you walk through this Carta base. So no matter what you pick, you're going to end up fighting this. Now, fun fact. If you played as a castless dwarf as your starting story, this is the same Carta you were running with and doing work with. And you have a best friend that gets arrested with you. And if you come back later, you can find your old jail cells. Now, if you don't play as the dwarf castless, then what ends up happening is that dwarf that was your best friend is actually still in the dungeon when you go through here.
What's the password?
Jarvia sucks lizard eggs.
Looks like we have a martyr, boys.
Hey, bud. Alright. No. That was a mistake. I need to change that out. I forgot it doesn't evolve. Are there lizards in the game? Technically, if you count the different various kinds of dragons, because there's a couple different types of dragons you can encounter, so technically, past that, I don't think there is, though. Not in this one, anyways. I'd have to refresh myself with the others. All right, so what was I gonna do? Ah, yes, we need to sustain to change that sign there. Summon my bear. Now, in lore, one of the things that the dwarves did, like just before their kingdoms started really falling, where their decline was in the lore, which predates all the games, they did encounter humanoid creatures that they refer to as scale men. So, and they're described as like lizard-like humanoid people. So they look like people, but like lizard skin and behaviors. But that's the extent of them, is that there's little lore pieces throughout the books, as well as you can find like occasional like codex entries about them. But they don't do very good at explaining what happened to them. But we'll see. Maybe as the games continue to progress, they'll continue to incorporate some of the older lore from the books and stuff, or expand on the little codex entries they've given. All right. Loot.
Something on your mind?
Nope. All right.
I have finished.
Now the jammer's stash that we just picked up, it's in this next room down here where we can start it. The trick to doing this is you got to pick the lowest quality item. If you pick anything other than the lowest quality item, each item you pick in addition will give you an injury. So it will cost an injury kit per item to recover from. Oh, come on. Inside. Qunari mercenary.
Sadly not.
Insufficient skill. Oh. Alright. Wooden crate. Da-da-da-da-da. Alright. Into the room we go. This one.
We are not alone.
Whoa. Hey guys.
Alright, as you desire. So I shall. Of course, as you desire. Delighted. And so I shall. Alright. And so I shall. Delighted.
Alright.
As you desire. Delighted.
Ooh.
Alright.
There we go. No longer blocked.
As you desire. Delighted.
Get this last guy in the back. There we go.
I have done it.
Fire arrows.
All over now.
Alright. Now let's see if we can go into this room finally. Do-do-do-do-do.
Hey now. And so I shall. As you desire. And so I shall. All right.
If you're able, always target the mages or the magic users for your enemy groups that you run into, because they are the ones that have the potential to do the most damage, and they can also make everybody else do more damage if they have certain buffs. Alright. So here we go. The common box. Again, you want to pick the lowest quality item. Here's how you're going to know if you're right or not. See the two green squares on the right, bottom right above my skills? There's not a red one, so that means we got the correct item. If you pick the wrong item, or if you take all of the items, you get 1 injury per wrong item that you select. And the objective, again, is to select the lowest quality item. And there's 3 boxes, if I remember correctly, that you gotta do that with. Alright, so the correct way is this way. First, we're gonna clear this way. Talk Canadian. Hey, how's it going? Welcome in. Welcome in. Alright, so go in here. No, we can't get along, bud. You know this. Everyone's fighting and we're invading a criminal's headquarters with the intention of wiping them out. What made you think we could get along? Come on. Did you not get the mission briefing? I was pretty sure you were there for the meeting. Alright, last guy.
Wonderful.
Loot. Alright, backside. We're gonna go over here, grab this, and then we can continue on.
Complete.
Woo! Alright, next room with the ambushes.
All the noise and bob. Delighted. And so I shall. Of course. All right. And so I shall. All right. So I shall. Delighted. All right. So I shall. As you desire. So I shall. All right.
Oh, this should be good.
Delighted.
2 more. How's everyone Saturday? Mine's going pretty good. Figured I would do streaming for a little bit and then go eat dinner, see how feeling after that, and maybe stream again later maybe later tonight or something. We'll see. But doing pretty good. I'm excited with all the new updates we're getting about the next Dragon Age game. The Dragon Age, the Veilguard is what they're now calling it. So pretty good so far. Pretty exciting.
that's a trap.
Thank you, Captain Obvious. So glad you were here to explain that to us. Alright, let's see. Which way are we going? That's the correct way, I think, is up top. Yeah, this is the
I
jail.
would watch out were I you. Of course.
Hey, guys.
So I shall, as you desire. Delighted. All right. So I shall, as you desire. Of course. Delighted. So I shall. Of course. Delighted, as you desire. So I shall. Of course. Delighted. All right, as you desire. Of course. And so I shall. Of course.
Alright, so grab this jail key. And if you had played as the dwarf... Whenever you play as the dwarven castless dude, Lesky is actually your best friend. So, he escapes with you. If you do that storyline. If you don't, he's stuck in the jail and you can just let him out.
I have done it.
Thank you.
Woo! And then that's supposed to be your character who it would have been.
My friend didn't make it. Just stopped eating one day and all for us.
Hi, mine is very busy, so it's nice to escape here. Hello from Cali. Hey, welcome in, welcome in. Nice, relax. I did shopping. Why is shopping more exhausting than yard work? Because of the social interactions required while shopping. Yard work is solitary. It can be solitary at least, so it can be meditative for some people. But shopping is stressful because there's social interactions and expectations that must be adhered to, and that's very taxing for most people. And yard work it also gives you that feel good factor because you can see the progress you're making with your own hands, you know. So you also get that feel good reinforcement that you can visibly see and track.
And so I shall.
Hey, bud.
See there? That's a trap.
I'm so glad you could point out traps. All right. Surprisingly, none of you triggered the traps. Good for you. Good for you. You guys usually step on them.
Danger approaching.
All right, as you desire. Delighted. And so I shall. All right. Delighted. So I shall. As you desire. Of course. So I shall.
All right.
All right. And so I shall.
This crate, get this barrel. All right. Here is box number 2. Remember, you want to take the lowest quality thing. So we got the iron, the red steel, and the steel. So iron is going to be the cheapest one. So we're going to grab that one up, and if we're wrong, we'll get an injury. So let's find out. Take the iron. No injury. We're good to go. All right, and there should be one more box. All right, so for her, we're going to go with... Give you 2 more there and go 1 there. Staff focus. All right, let's get going. LOL, I like to think shopping has good PR, so we aren't prepared. Always thrown off. Shopping equals spending money. Money usually equals sad panda. Yard work equals saving money. Usually in a sense of accomplishment. LOL. 2 great points. A lot more negative feelings with shopping. For sure. Absolutely. Alright, so we got one more box we gotta find. and then we got to select the cheapest item out of that. And I think that one's gems, if I'm not mistaken. Or rings, something of that effect. It's a jewelry of some type. Oh, there's a mage. Nope, 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 nope. You. Pinning shot. Okay, missed. Alright, what about that one? No? Still nothing. How about just stun you? There we go. Make you stop. Alright. Loot. Loot. And here it is. Alright. So. Fluorspar. Garnet. Malachite. Let's see if we have any of those in our inventory, because I can't remember off the top of my head which one's the cheaper one. So we have one. Inspect. Alright. Let's see if the first one's right. Nope, we got an injury. Malachite? Nope, wrong, injury. So it is the granite. So we got the 2 red squares now. We can make those go away by going potions, and we go to an injury kit removes 2, a lesser injury kit removes 1, so we'll just do this, and it removes both of them. Bam. Woo! And now, let's see, where are we with that quest? Take the cheapest item in each, 1, 2, 3, to access the jammer stash box. Alright, so yeah, we just gotta wait for the box to appear.
I have finished.
I'm pretty sure. Yep, it's not appearing there, so it is further in. Let's see here. Which way is that? That's the correct way. This is the wrong way, so let's go the wrong way. Do it! Ooh, I gotta get caught up on chat here. Let's see here. Shopping also requires peopling. Nah. Good evening, sir. Hey, Man Bear Nog, how's it going? Welcome in, welcome in. Hey, Sean. Man Bear Nog, the man. Yep. Hello, Man Bear, definitely challenging. True. Went to Costco. Lots of peopling. Tons of peopling in Costco. But Costco has that little, like, dining area where you can get those cheap hot dogs and those really big slices of pizza. So it kind of makes up for it. And the free samples that they have while you're just wandering around. So they kind of make up for it with the food. Costco, I'm jealous. I hear good things. Ours is just too far. I went to do returns at Costco, but the till was closed. Went back and show receipt. Didn't have it. Welcome. We're chatting about the shopping. Exhausting. I drove 2.5 hours to Costco. Wow. Yeah, that's way more dedication than I would have for a store. I would not. Oh, actually, almost. That's not true. There's Buc-ee's. I've driven some distances for a Buc-ee's. Let's see here. Oh my goodness, sucks. Shopping, especially groceries. Me, tears. Manager, oh, you're kidding. Costco has awesome. They do have awesome pizza. Like Costco's closed. Can you agree? Just shop through 2-3 hours per day. It's very spaced out. Loads of driving out here. Sorry. Yeah. No. If I try to get everything done all in one shot while I'm out, so I don't have to keep going back to the house. The only time I will make trips like back and forth between the store and the house is if I'm picking up cold things at multiple stores. Then it's like I'll do it just so the food doesn't go bad.
Complete.
Alright, so we got that one. And that is actually the correct way, so we're not going to do that one. We're going to go this way.
Be wary.
All right, of course. Like it. All right, select out as you desire. Of course. Select out. All right, as you desire. All right, select out. Of course.
I mainly made the trip to the travel trailer shop, and Costco was added as a bonus. Oh, well, that's fair. I mean, like, if you're already in the area, totally worth it then. How's Origins going? I'm not a fan. Aspire is such grind. Origins is going. I will say that as far as places that are a grind go, Ozumar's got some stuff, but I gotta give it to the Circle of Mage, the Tower Circle with the mages. That place has got to be a more brutal grind, in my opinion, just because of how much back and forthing you have to do as you progress and unlock different forms while you're doing the what's it called? The fade bit where you're unlocking all the sigils and everything. Alright, so there's the Jammer stash box, and because we got the cheapest items out of those 3 other boxes, we can now open this, and we get the Long Runner's cap. Woo! And 7 gold. Let's see, how much gold are we sitting next? We still need 50 for that other quest. We're at 33. Making good progress. Alright. Alright, let's go deal with Jarvia now. What should I have? Twitch friends that are in Sweden. They were shocked to learn Alberta province is bigger than all of Sweden. Are you a rogue elf or are they mutually exclusive? LOL noob. Opening chest reminded me. I am an elf and I chose to also be a rogue. So I chose both. So, and that's because the rogue is the one that can unlock things and disarm traps. And they have the archery set. And really, the archer is pretty overpowered throughout the series if you play it right. So that's where I tend to stick, simply because I get to enjoy the story, take my time to explore, can actually get into bigger fights than I should be getting into earlier. You know, things like that.
So, Paramount finally realized we're taking the city, yet he still can't be bothered to send his own men. Well, you picked the wrong side, stranger. It doesn't matter who's king, as long as there's a queen.
Just shut up and die already.
Excellent idea. Boys, why don't we help him take his own advice? Danger
You disappeared on me, Jarvia. Trip. Yep, there we go. No, you're not. Such empty threats. And there was the trap triggered. And another trap triggered. Stop bouncing all over the place, Jarvia. There we go. Do the looting. I feel like a rip-off, but I calculated it isn't bad, but the whole beef loin was 230. Wow. Hey, Runa, hey, welcome in, how's it going? Doing the Dragon Age playthroughs because of all the new updates that have been coming out with the next Dragon Age game. You know, they changed the name of it, so it's no longer Dreadwolf, it is now the Veilguard. And on the 11th, we're getting 15 minutes of gameplay, and hopefully they'll give us like a release date then too. That'd be nice. All right, let's get in here, get the chests.
I have done it.
Run away! We're gonna make this dude mad.
All done.
This dude's about to get upset. I'm kind of curious on what this dude's story is, because like he gets mad when we come out of this place, and it's called the Carta Shop. But then we're also taking his daughter away by helping her go and get a job at the Circle of Magi. So... like, it's gotta be rough to beat this dude.
God, by all the beards of my ancestors! How did you... Where did you come from? You made a hole in my wall!
Yeah... that hole leads to the tunnel of the Carter's hideout, bud.
It does? Oh, sod it. If people find out about this, my business will be ruined. They'll think I have something to do with Jarvia.
Don't worry. Jarvia's dead.
Dead? How? Did you... You did, didn't you? You killed her. And then you climbed out of there into my shop. Oh, just leave me alone. I don't want anything to do with this. And if anyone comes asking, I'm gonna tell them you did it.
So he's an armor vendor. He sells some okay armor, nothing unique or really worthwhile. And if you, after coming through the hole in the shop, if you make his daughter, if you agree to his daughter's request and actually get her at the Circle of Magi, he'll end up just not talking to you again and not letting you ever shop at his store again. Alright, so we gotta go back and tell them that we won. Actually, let's talk to Garen and sell some stuff real quick.
My lunch. It's a piece of lichen bread with a spread of old cheese and shredded dried meat. I'm only asking because you never know who's going to get hungry.
Let me see your wares, bud.
Best in the trade, you know. I worked the ore myself.
Alright, first things first. Sell junk if we have any. Alright, we don't. So now we can do this, this. That. We're going to keep that big sword. It's the one we got from fighting the dragon. Ice arrows are really all I do use. And I save those for the very end. Don't need long runners, caps. We're going to be getting rid of most of that. Don't need the gloves of diligence. Gold ring, silver rings. Lyriums. Grounding bombs, salves. Alright. Save game, and that gives us, actually, 50 gold we need to go get that Dust Town quest. So let's go grab that Dust Town quest so that way we have it on hand already. We don't forget about it when we go to the circle. Because it'd be easy to miss out on that. Can we just call him Gary? For me, it's cool. Scareborne is on early enough that I'm not in bed yet. Yeah, that's fair. That's fair. I've been doing a lot of the overnight stuff lately. You must have long days. You stream earlier. He does stream super early. But, like, it's the best time to have Man Bear Nug in the morning, man. Like, Man Bear Nug is the perfect way to wake up to your day. It's like the perfect level of energy and positivity and just good vibes and coffee. Alright, let's save the game just in case there's a glitch or a issue. Alright.
Who are you? You don't look like any guardsman I ever saw, and that's not much of a uniform.
Alright, persuade.
Oh, you looking for a chance to bring in some coin? Could be I have that opportunity, especially for someone with a few connections above ground.
Alright, let's hear what you got to say.
You know, they make these ridiculous laws. Like about who gets to buy and sell lyrium, the sacred gift the stone provides us to show her love. No law should regulate that. The laws are meant to keep mages away from the stuff, so there's always buyers in the Circle Tower. I got one man named Godwin. He's expecting a delivery of a stone's weight. You want an investment opportunity? I could see fit to, say, sell you that lyrium instead, at the reasonable price of 50 sovereigns. You can keep it, or, since you can travel freely from here, sell it to Godwin, who you know is buying. And if you bring back his return order, I could pay you, say, 20 sovereigns as a finder's fee.
Alright, let's see. Agree, I haven't been the biggest supporter of the Nag, but the Nag has supported me. So thank you, Man Bear Nag. Alright, so, we're gonna make this deal. And yes, as of this point in the game, because again, we do have people in here who have not experienced the second and third game, so we're going to minimize our spoilers where we can, especially if it's information that's going to come up later. But I can't say what lyrium is itself. The understanding of it changes in the second game, and then in the third game, there's a DLC where we learn the actual true understanding of what lyrium is. So we will be progressing as the games progress with how much lore we're discussing when it comes to that, because it is a central part of storylines. So we're going to go with 40.
You haggle like a merchant born. Deal. Here's the lyrium then. You probably don't want to take it out of the box. I'll be waiting for the next order somewhere out of sight. Say, just around the corner.
Alright. So now when we do the towers, the circle tower, we'll be able to take that, and there's a mage that we'll encounter while we're clearing the tower, and we can sell it to him. Gotta return to Harrowmont and get this quest turned in, so then we can continue. Let's see. Harrowmont. Hey bud, we killed Jarvia. Can we go play in the deep roads yet? I want to go get my friend Ogren.
I heard the news. Jarvia and Akata are dead. I suppose it was unrealistic to expect them to surrender.
It's done. Will you speak to the assembly now?
I have no desire to go back on my word. But when Balin heard the news about Jarvia, he raised the stakes. He is forcing a vote in the next 2 days. By law, that prevents the assembly from hearing any other pleas. To help with your troops, I will require your assistance one last time. Do you know anything of the Paragon Branca?
I've heard the name.
Branca is a paragon, the only one we have been blessed with in 4 generations. 2 years ago, she took her entire house into the deep roads on a mad quest to uncover ancient secrets. No one's heard from her since. Were she to return and endorse someone for the throne, the assembly would be honor-bound to accept her wishes.
If you want the throne, then I will find Branca. Let's do it.
My men traced Branca's disappearance to an ancient crossroads known as Caradin's Cross. It is many miles below where we normally venture, but I can provide a map to lead you there. Just enter the deep roads through the mines. Thank you again, and may the ancestors guide your steps.
I was reflecting on how most of the games that I've tried in the past year have misfortunate people, poor, orphanages, etc. Seeing the scene where the Chantry asked for donations reminded me. That's fair. To be honest, a lot of video games, at least RPGs anyways, tend to have a degree of social commentary on them. So they have a certain level of realism to immerse the player, and they'll have familiar social commentary settings and situations going on, so that the the consumer of the material becomes invested because they can relate to these things, because they're familiar with these things already. So it makes them feel like they're already part of the universe that they are now delving into. So that is a trick that most RPGs do on purpose. All right, let's level up. Cunning. And we're good on the cunning there. Cool. And we can get the spider. Level up. Okay, so now we can actually start working on some of your skills there, bud. Passive. And shale. Shale, let's see your tactics. I want you aggressive. Enemy. Self. Status. Any action. Activate mode. Oh, you're doing the Stoneheart. Okay. Clear. I don't want you as a defender, though. This card changes. Archer, custom. Activate mode. I want you to activate. Threaten. Actually, this is going to be enemy. Any. And this is going to be... South. Any. Activate mode. And we're going to go with Stone Aura. There we go. Save. Alright, let's get caught up on chat here. I don't know if I'm making words. That makes sense. Thanks for explaining. So insightful. Goatee. The goatee holds much wisdom. Oh, I'm still thinking of the chicken bake from Costco. Question is which holds more wisdom, the beer or the goatee? Those rotisserie chickens are on point. I will say that. Costco and the other one we have out here in Florida is called BJ's. It's another wholesale place, and the rotisserie chickens are on point. I put them at the same level almost as Costco's, but Costco's I would give a slight edge to. With goatees, of course. Alright, so let's get here. So what we're going to do here, multitasking. So difficult. Alright, so what we're going to do here is we're going to head down to the current quest. Circle, Sun's Rock, Otagan, Prince Bain. Nope, we're not doing that. Delirium. Nope, not doing that. Nope. Paragon of her kind. Here we go. That's the one we're doing. So we're gonna go down to the Deep Roads entrance, and we should find Oghren. And we're gonna take Alistair out of the party and put Oghren in its place.
Stranger, have you seen a Grey Warden hereabouts? I've been privy to the rumor that he, or was that she? You understand this was many mugs ago. Was searching for Branka on Lord Harrimon's own command.
I am the Grey Warden, and that would be he.
Well, if you're the best they got, then standards must have fallen way down.
But I suppose that would account for an elf being down here. Say, could I ask you a favor?
Why not? Everyone else does.
Name's Ogren. And if you've ever heard of me before, it's probably all been about how I piss ale and kill little boys who look at me wrong. And that's mostly true. But the part they never say is how I'm the only one still trying to save our only paragon. And if you're looking for Branka, I'm the only one who knows what she was looking for, which might be pretty sodding helpful in finding her.
Alright. Let's see here. Cut the chase, you can come with if your info is good.
You should know that Branka was looking for the Anvil of the Void, the secret to building golems, which was lost centuries ago. The smith Caradon built it, and with it, Orzammar had 100 years of peace, while it was protected by the golems forged on the anvil. As far as anyone knows, the anvil was built in the old Orton Tig. Branka planned to start looking there, if she could ever find it. All she knew was that it was past Caradon's cross. No one's seen that Tig for 500 years.
Alright, let's get going.
Great. Once we're there, I should be able to pick up Branka's trail, no trouble. Lead on.
Alright, so we're going to drop Alistair from this, and we're going to bring Ogren, because we still need Morgan for her buffs and her magic, and Shale was built on, she was created on the anvil. So as long as you bring her along for this, she's got a lot of unique dialogue things that she gets to talk about and give commentary on. That's pretty unique. So we're going to make sure we bring her along for that. All right. Save the game. All right, let's see here. Caught up. Chad, I picked up Pad Thai. I'm going to absolutely destroy it. Hopefully it doesn't destroy me. Yes, love Thai food. Speaking of which, everybody, I actually need to go have dinner. So, here's what we're going to do. I see that Mr. Mike Macon is on. So let's go see Mr. Mike Macon. Stick with me for the raid. And keep an eye on those notifications. I might go live a little bit later, like in a few hours or so again. We'll see. But yeah, keep an eye on those notifications. And if you're on YouTube, make sure you hit the subscribe button. If you're on Twitch, hit those follow buttons if you haven't done so already. Thank you all for hanging out with me. Now let's go see Mr. Mike Macon. Let's see. Mike Macon. All right. Thank you all for being here. I greatly appreciate it. See y'all later.